This morning in our Earth Matters series, a devastating and mysterious underwater disease is sweeping down the coast of Florida. Scientists don't know exactly what this disease is, but it has already infected about half of the coral species in the region. Our Mark Phillips recently flew to the remote Dry Tortugas National Park in the Gulf of Mexico to join a team of scientists racing against time to save the coral. Mark, good morning.
Good morning from the Dry Tortugas, about 70 miles west of Key West, Florida. There are plenty of good reasons for diving off of Florida's coast, but these divers aren't here to just have fun on the coral reefs. They're here to try to save them. Something is killing the coral that grows along Florida's coast, and these divers are part of a last-ditch effort to try to save it.
So this disease event is unprecedented.
Unprecedented, says National Parks fisheries biologist Megan Johnson, because of the speed with which the disease attacks and kills about half the coral species on Florida's reefs. Unprecedented because the pandemic has lasted 5 years so far, when most reef infections last just a year or so. And unprecedented because marine scientists say the coral is already threatened by warming ocean temperatures, and so is more vulnerable to whatever this mystery disease is. What do we know about it? What is it? Why is it doing this?
What we know, it's an infectious waterborne disease, and we don't know how it started or where it originated from, and we know that it's traveling at a pretty fast rate down the reef tract.
The bug, or whatever it is, was first discovered off Miami in 2014 and has been on a relentless, lethal march north and south ever since. In just 5 years, this disease has traveled from north of Palm Beach 350 miles to Key West, and it's still moving. But it hasn't hit the relatively pristine waters of the Dry Tortugas yet. And so a bold rescue effort is underway. Scientists from NOAA, Florida Wildlife, and the University of Miami have begun to do what is normally the worst thing you can do on a reef. They've been chipping off healthy living coral before the disease gets to it. They've been collecting it on a research vessel where it's cataloged.
This one's 3.5 centimeters.
They've been storing it in vats, coral condos they call them, saved so that if the disease passes, the coral can be replanted and it's hoped the reef system can be restored. Maybe.
These will serve as the brood population to then make more babies.
Once flippers crossed, once the disease has passed
Correct.
Through and has gone.
Yes, but even to do this process, we're looking at another 2 to 5 years.
This is a long term.
It's a long journey.
They're coming this way, clear.
A journey whose next stop is at the University of Miami, and then other facilities across the South to wait.
We just had the warmest month on record here in Miami, Florida. Not just air temperatures, but water temperatures as well. And that was June 2019. So the fact that we're breaking records in June is really, alarming.
Unless and if the disease stops killing the coral, there's no point trying to replant it. And nobody can say when or even if that day might come.
That's just terrifying. I mean, think about that. They're so sure that that reef is in trouble that they're actually taking it apart preemptively to try to save it.
Unless people think that, why are they doing this? The reefs sustain the ocean. They sustain life in the ocean. They sustain us.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Protein comes out of the ocean. Think about that next time you have a fish on your plate.
But don't you admire and marvel at people who take the time to make the Earth, the planet, better for all of us, that they're doing that?
Yeah.
The hope is that life finds a way.
I like that.
As Mark put it, flippers crossed.
That's right.
Nice job, Mark Phillips, too. Nice.